Thanks for staying with us here on TVC Breakfast. It's not time for us to look at what the papers are reporting this morning. They seem to be speaking almost the same language this morning. If you look at the Nation newspaper, speaks to the president's second year anniversary since he took office. But above the masthead, we have presidency, finance ministry explained borrowing plan, request for federal government states. Daily Trust says 2 years after putting Tinubu on the scale. Punch newspaper, May the 29th speech. We are laying foundation for sustainable future, says President Tinubu. Leadership newspaper also lists some of the scorecards of the current administration of President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. The Nigerian News Direct, second anniversary. Our economic reforms are working. Nigeria on course to greater stability. That's according to the president. Daily Independent, we have stabilized Nigeria's economy for growth. President Bola Tinubu. Platform Times also speaks to the midterm reports. Tinubu boasts economic gains, security progress. Opposition fires back. Now, 18 soldiers, 15 policemen, traditional ruler caught selling arms to terrorists in 11 states. And the military arrests 4 Pakistanis over alleged terror links in the northeast. Blueprint newspaper, Buhari thumbs up Tinubu at midterm, urges patience on reforms. Senate adopts harmonized report on tax bills. Next paper, which is This Nigeria, also now goes to the FCT, where Nyesom Wike says refusal to pay taxes is greatest challenge. The Guardian newspaper, Tinubu insists economic reforms are working, opposition kicks, and last but not least is the Sport Alive, the History Boys, speaking about Chelsea win all UEFA titles, Bata Real Betis 4-1 to lift Conference League trophy. I'll be doing this with my colleagues in the studio, Etoma, Veronica, and Uncle Sam. Now, let's look at what the Nation newspaper, as well as other papers, that speak the same language this morning. The front page of the Nation newspaper says over 900,000 beneficiaries of presidential loan grant scheme, over 300,000 beneficiaries of students loan scheme, over $10 billion FX debt cleared, over 440 ongoing road projects, including over 700 kilometers of superhighways, and so on and so forth. So if you look at the list, it's on and on that we have here. But your own overview, how do you see this midterm reports coming from the presidency?
Funny enough, the thing that really catches my interest is the rehabilitation and construction of new roads. Because it is said if you want to develop a place fast, build roads first. And his administration has really done a lot in that direction. I think he achieved this by doing the right appointment. Umahi is a builder. He likes building things. Let me move a little bit. Wike also is the kind of man that likes building things. And Umahi has really done some good work. So taking that into consideration, I will give him a pass mark.
That's right.
Policies that will make life a little better for Nigerians, yes, there are quite a number of them. I would like to commend him on what he's done for agriculture. I just hope that his incursion into all these insecurity things will yield better and faster results so that the agricultural policies will come to light. Well,
Veronica, some Nigerians will say, speak all the English that you want, do everything that you think, as long as I do not see enough food. Not this time around, not that you don't have food on your table, but enough food as to you, eating yourself to feel. You probably are not talking to me. But how do you see it? Do you see it differently?
Absolutely. The average Nigerian just wants the basics. Food on my table, clothes on my body, a roof over my head, electricity, and then drive into the filling station. I can buy fuel at any amount that is affordable.
It's not bank breaking.
Yes, for them, that's what it is. And that's where my concern is. The president, from what we are reading here, has achieved a lot, but how does that translate to the impact on the lives of average Nigerians? How have those who are working with him been able to communicate all of these achievements to Nigerians to understand and trust that the government is working in a direction that they can trust and also support at the end of the day? Because this is just 2 years. In the next 4 years, they're looking to build on what it is they have achieved so far, so that perhaps the impact can now penetrate to those at the grassroots. How are the governors working hand in glove with the policies of the president? Because it's not just about the president. Any little thing, Nigerians will say the president, forgetting that there are layers and layers to government in Nigeria. There's a local government. We talk about local government autonomy and how we have been talking about it. How have the governors supported that drive to ensure that governance and dividends of democracy gets to the grassroots? These are the issues for me. The president may do all he can, but it is not just all about him. He has the blueprint, and he has said, these people work with me. How well are they working with him to ensure that the people actually get the dividends of democracy?
Yeah, Super Sam, if you see the Daily Trust, has it as on the front page, 2 years after putting Tinubu on the scale. How do you approach this without tipping the scale?
He has balanced the scale. I think that while we're talking about roads, we're talking about the people who have benefited in terms of the credit corp, student loans. We're talking of all of this. The greatest achievement that this government has done is to stabilize the economy. The economy he inherited was so bad that if you had put, and I say it with boldness, Obi or Atiku there, they will have bungled it, and only God knows what will have happened to us because of the debt that we had accumulated and the extent to which the quagmire was about to swallow us. So we're talking of a country that was mired in so much debt that we were surviving on what is called ways and means, which means that we're just printing money to survive. 2 years before then, no matter what you had against the former governor of Edo State, what's his name? Obaseki. He warned. He said, look what's happening in this country. We are not making money. We are printing money to survive in this country. We are printing money. He said so. And many people did not know that. It was seen as partisan because it was at war with the APC at that time. It was seen as partisan. But when the real story came, they were backed up 30 trillion in debts. That means we were printing, and we had to keep printing until we printed ourselves out of print. That was how bad the situation was. Now, we are in a situation where we no longer rely on ways and means. And when I met the president last week, he said, ways and means behind us. $7 billion debt.
That's right.
Yeah, remember the problem with CBN and the debts on the airlines and all those things that we're fighting with. It almost was almost as if this country could never get out of this morass. Now that is to the extent now that we have now paid IMF loan.
Yes, Super Sam, you're really getting, to the meat of it. Yes. It's still going to inform what we'll discuss in the next segment. Right. So let's save the best for the last.
Yes.
but if you look at it, still talking about the present, achievements, in 2 years, former President Muhammad Buhari said that he gave kudos to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu's economic policies and reforms, but he said he should not yield to politics.
And I want to ask, did you yield to politics? Because what Uncle Sam just said also happened while he was president of Nigeria. We had, in fact, most of them happened during his tenure. We had humongous debts in the country, and the economy was really, really shaking. But as a former president, he is in the right moral position to give advice. And he did that. And thank God he gave good advice.
That's right.
Good advice to Mr. President. But Mr. President is known as a strategist. So I'm wondering how strong that advice is.
That's right. Veronica, if you look at the Platform Times, still speaks the same language, saying that there are 19 soldiers, 15 policemen, traditional ruler caught selling arms to the terrorists in 11 states. I heard you chuckle at the time when I mentioned that. But do you not see that while we are trying to fight, or we are struggling to fight against insecurity, we still have some people we entrusted our trusts, but then they've actually stabbed us in the back. So
Saboteurs.
Exactly.
And it's sad because when I saw this headline, I was worried. 18 soldiers. These people who are meant to secure us are part of those who are getting involved in the activities of these persons. Remember, when we were talking about forest guards, I was saying we must ensure that we give them all that they require and need so that they would not become part of the problem. I'm wondering why these persons, 18 soldiers, 15 policemen, traditional ruler, caught selling arms to terrorists in 11 states, where this sense of patriotism lies with them, where this sense of commitment lies with them. Yes, we know we have bad eggs, but you occupy certain positions that people trust you for to deliver on what is expected of you, which has to do with security in terms of the policemen as well as the military personnel. And then for the traditional ruler, you're expected to even tell these people that drop your arms, you're not supposed to be part of it.
That's right.
But you are now involved in the business. Where is your conscience? That's my question. Why are you doing this to us? Nigerians need to begin to look at the implications of their actions. If a traditional ruler is involved, what can he tell a younger person? How do you correct the others from doing it? That's the problem. We keep saying that if we need to address certain issues, we go through traditional rulers because they wield influence.
That's right.
But how now he's influencing people to do what is wrong? It's sad.
Just a few days ago, you were blaming or probably chiding, let me use the language that you use on the front page of papers, the governor of Borno State, Umar Zulum, that it should stop being
infantile.
Infantile. That was the word.
Yeah, that's the word. I can't like
I used that word.
Yes.
I didn't know I used that word.
It was on the spur of the moment. So, but how do you now interpret this? As you go at that, vis-a-vis what this Nigeria is saying, in FCT, where Nyesom Wike is saying that refusal to pay taxes is his greatest challenge, in helping the economy and helping the whole place to grow. If you can do that in less than 2 minutes.
Yes, paying taxes is very important. The point is that many of our elites, they don't like to pay tax, and they try to enjoy the benefits of it. The president gave them 14 days. I don't think many of them will abide by the 14 days. I'm waiting for what PDP will do. I said that PDP should make it clear to us whether they are paying their own rent to their own landlord. Because the real landlord is not PDP in that building. It's a person whose name has not been made public. Or maybe it's a PDP chieftain who has collected PDP rent and doesn't want PDP to make noise because there's some deal going on. But the most important thing is that we have to be accountable. We need to be accountable. What is going on under Tinubu is that we are in a situation where we have to account for everything, whether it's NNPC, whether it is the tax system, whether it is how we run our power situation. It's a time for us to say, where is the money?
Right.
How did you spend it? If the federal government is able to pay the IMF loan, why can't you hold your own side?
That's right. So very quickly, as we call it a wrap on the paper, we already talked about this Nigeria, which is the issue of Wike. We still have Guardian newspaper, which speaks to what we spoke earlier. But then one thing on the Sporting Life, if you look at above the masthead here, Nigeria 2, Ghana 1. Eagles top Black Stars in London to play Jamaica in final on Saturday. This is Super Eagles, you know, doing us
I
great.
wish Leah was here.
Sorry,
At least we have resolved the issue of the better jollof rice. This jollof rice bed Debbie.
You were not here yesterday. She was rather watch or attend the match. You know, having Nigeria's jollof rice and that of Ghana's, you know, jollof rice, so that she can.
We know which one is steamier now. Yeah. And spicier.
And spicier. But the thing is that we're always proud of our boys. They're doing so well.
Absolutely.
Right.
Well, they were heavy-footed towards the end of the game, and they almost gave it away. It was bad coaching towards the end of the game, and bad reflexes.
I hope they change that in their next game with Jamaica.
That's right. That's right. All right, that's about it for the newspapers up for review. We still have more to come. Still to come on TVC Breakfast.